Or yeah, then just share the link with me once we're on.
Okay.
Oh.
Are we live? We are live. Okay. Here we go. This is Radio Sheridan, live from the historic Rogers Park neighborhood in Chicago, Illinois. This is the show about whatever the hell we feel like. And on the panel this evening we have
Julian Newman.
Charles Pigozzi.
and yours truly, William Bermudez. All right, this is the third episode of Radio Sheridan. Today is November 1st, 2018. And that's what we're going to be doing. So if you would like to, I don't even think anyone's listening yet, but in case people do listen, you can see on the viewer there the telephone number to dial if you want to join us on the air. That is 872-760-3984. And just feel free to dial in and we'll get you on the air. Okay, so there's been a lot of stuff happening in the news recently, and honestly, there's just so much depressing crap that we don't really want to talk about. So let's. What do you guys want to start off with in terms of what you do want to talk about?
Oprah to interview Michelle Obama. Greedy bureaucrat convicted of stealing city funds.
We can just mention, like, okay, so yeah, apparently Oprah Winfrey is going to be interviewing Michelle Obama at the United Center, so it's kind of like the two probably most famous black women who are tied to the city of Chicago, at least currently. It's interesting to see that if you look at how the Obama Center in the Obama, it actually is what's called the Obama Presidential Center in Jackson Park is being set up. It's sort of contentious in that area because some people are worried that's going to gentrify that neighborhood. But hopefully we'll have some net benefits in the end. Because there is actually going to be a new branch of the Chicago Public Library there, so that'll be nice to see. Oh, whoops! I think I put the wrong name for this stream. I put it as episode 2, I think. Hold on a second. Let me fix this here. Yeah, I never actually changed the stream name for this, but I think we should be okay now.
Wow.
Is this okay now? Let's see.
Who's watching?
One person. I think it's Julian.
No, I'm not watching.
Interesting.
Show yourself.
Whoops, that's not right.
Hey, be nice to our listeners.
Reveal yourself.
Yeah, reveal yourself. Speak in the chat. Okay, the tele's fixed. Good. Okay. All right. Yeah, somebody's watching at least. All right. So, that's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think it's not gonna be criticized at all in Chicago. I don't think, because like they're both two very popular figures in the city. So.
Is Oprah? She mostly retired, or?
Yeah, she stopped doing her show in something like 2011, I think. Yeah. But I'll send the link to you in just a second.
Well,
make sure this is working.
Her old studio, Harpo Productions, I think that's demolished.
It was demolished. Oh, something. What did they put there?
Something else. Oh, I think it's the new McDonald's headquarters.
Oh, that's where it was, in the West Loop.
I think.
Okay, I can look that up. I'm pretty sure that's where. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I've actually been there. I went there like less than a week after it opened because they put like an international McDonald's.
Yeah, it is for a new McDonald's.
Yep, that's right.
New McDonald's headquarters.
Yep. Yeah, that's on the near west side. It's in like sort of the Fulton Market area, which itself is very much gentrifying also. Also, the governor's race is really starting to ramp up. This is less than a week before the election, so you do hear a lot of you see ads a lot on TV. Those of you that do continue to watch TV
and social media, I've been seeing a lot of ads for Pritzker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like personally, I don't know who's gonna win.
A lot of ads for Pritzker.
It's really honest. Yeah. Any candidate has like the likelihood to win.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I personally, if I had to predict it, I think Pritzker might win in the squeaker, but I don't know. Maybe Jackson will play spoilers to an extent to Rauner.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are a lot of like libertarians and even some conservatives that are just fed up with Rauner because they consider him ineffective. So that may be the case.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Jeannie Ives, who primaried Rauner, criticized him earlier this week for going out of his way to attend a Trump rally in Southern Illinois. She has not specifically endorsed Rauner, but she has told people not to vote for Pritzker or Sam McCann, who is the other conservative running. It's interesting because Sam McCann has like expressly said he's basically running a very heavy pro-life platform.
Oh.
Yeah, because like he has said like he is like the one pro-life guy running in the race, and that's why people should vote for him. So
Really?
yeah, that's basically the
Runner's really pro-choice.
He is, yeah. He's like very much a pro-choice Republican. Like he has said that like the abortion law in Illinois is not going to change under him. So like I think that's what got at least some people on his side.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's pro death penalty too.
Rounders?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, yeah, death penalty's been hasn't like I mean it's not like Illinois never even did the death penalty very often.
It's not like Texas or anything.
Yeah, it's not like Texas, and
I just think it's I just don't get that like thinking that if we bring back the death penalty that'll keep people from doing crimes.
Well, I don't
like
I don't
is
know.
that really what goes through someone's mind?
I have mixed feelings about the death penalty because
Like-
you know if we want to talk about the Pittsburgh shooting and Tree of Life Synagogue, which is really
Sure.
really tragic.
It is, yeah.
And you know I think the guy who committed it, he probably deserves the death penalty.
Yeah.
You know I think in really extreme egregious cases like that where you know multiple people are killed, it's for like a you know horrible premeditated reason. You know I think the death penalty like definitely should be only used in cases that are above and beyond even just like a regular murder. Like,
right. And I do believe that in a case like that, someone would deserve the death penalty. But personally, I'm philosophically opposed to the death penalty, but it's on the basis that I don't think the judiciary should be powerful enough to determine who lives and who dies.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, I understand that argument. I have more kind of mixed feelings. You know, I'm not some kind of like pro like, oh, we need to have the death penalty
Like in
or
Texas.
else. Like, yeah, no, I don't like have that kind of opinion, but. You know, I think having the option there, just in like the most extreme cases, could be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely I mean, it's certainly, I wouldn't say the guy doesn't deserve the death penalty. Like, he deserves to be harshly punished for what he did, as would anybody else who did a crime of that magnitude. Yeah, I mean, something I found out, actually, that shooting happened less than, like, about a mile and a half from where Fred Rogers, of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood fame, lived.
Yeah.
So it actually literally happened in his neighborhood.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I know people just like from, you know, being in the Jewish community or whatever that were saying like, oh, you know, I grew up in a neighboring synagogue, or we tried going to the synagogue a couple of times, and like, you know, it's for me, it's a lot closer to home than for a lot of people. I think it's just some just a news thing, but you know,
yeah, it's
connection.
it's tough when that sort of stuff like happens like close to you. Like it's like you personally know people that might have been involved in that and like around that area in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thankfully, like, you know, I don't have very many. I am with some, but like not very many family that live in Pittsburgh, and you know, I don't think I know anyone personally that's a member of that congregation, but.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a small world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Also, we wanted to, we could talk a little bit about the pipe bombs that were sent.
Yeah.
The alleged sender, Cesar Sayoc, who was found, like, it's interesting, didn't Michael Moore happen to have filmed him at a Trump rally at some point?
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's like people were saying like when they saw this mugshot, like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's Latino," but it actually turns out he's Filipino, as it turns out.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys see the picture of his van?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently,
he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, apparently there was a picture of apparently like the van had been covered by a tarp, but the tarp flew off or something, so that's why people were able to get like such a clear shot of the van.
Oh.
That's what I've heard at least. Yeah, like it's good. People were saying that like people that like claim that this was like a false flag or something are all saying that like that has to be fake because the stickers were placed so perfectly next to each other. But like I mean, it looks
That's
like
ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like something like this.
So stupid.
It looks like just like a collage somebody made. Like you could make that in an hour in paint and just like take it to Kinko's and they'd make you like a sticker or something like that. So I don't buy that.
Yeah, thankfully none of the bombs exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, you know, maybe this is kind of a cynical thing, but like it's funny that the guy who would do that is like not even smart enough to make like bombs that are
like
functional.
the bombs didn't even have blasting caps on them.
Yeah,
what the guy basically
also,
did was he took a PVC pipe, put some maybe cut open some fireworks and put some gunpowder in there, whatever, and then stuck a couple wires on the each end.
Yeah,
his own
and
good.
then like for one of them at least, like he just like bought some alarm clock off of Madison or off of Amazon and like just like taped it on there.
That's funny. Oh yeah, and he misspelled a lot of the names of the people who wrote in the envelopes. He misspelled
Yeah,
Brennan,
yeah.
Brenan. He spelled
Was,
Debbie Wasserman Schultz
yeah.
without the C. I think it was God.
Stupidity.
God. Yeah, I mean, apparently they're like people were saying. At least I don't think this is probably true anymore because it's been like about a week or so since the guy was found, but or close to a week at least. But people were saying there may still be more in the mail that haven't been delivered yet. But I think maybe one was discovered. But I don't think that's gonna be the case anymore.
I think that's probably it.
Yeah.
They probably found all.
Forgot. Yeah, I mean he's like in custody and stuff now. So.
Yeah, so I don't think there any additional ones that might have been going through the mail or probably have already been tracked down at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird too that if I guess this is kind of an offshoot that the safety caps on say pill bottles like Tylenol and shit like that is it's all because before the Tylenol came in the form it's in now as like a tablet, it came in like a pill, and people died because someone put cyanide.
Yeah, that was the Tylenol poisoning in Chicago, actually. Yeah.
That's the reason why you have like those safety caps on.
Yeah, the childproof ones.
Yeah, I mean that's not
I
just
wonder
medicine, it's like all perishable goods. Or...
if out of these like bombings that society, I mean, that there will be that kind of overreaction and they'll put like safety boxes on mail.
I don't know. I think like they were able to catch all of the ones or like. I don't see USPS procedures changing because of this.
No.
No, if anything, the procedures worked.
Yeah,
They were intended to,
right.
so-
They caught most of them.
Yeah, so I don't really see any. I don't see any major things changing as results of in terms of policy as a result of these.
Yeah.
In terms of postal service policy.
Anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Going back to the governor's race, there is a motorcycle advocacy group that basically rescinded their endorsement of Rauner because of his support of self-driving cars. Let me look up the name of the
Kidding
group.
me?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me look this up. Motorcycle advocacy
That's
group.
funny.
It's called ABATE. I forget exactly like what that stands for. Motorcycle advocacy group pulls support for Governor Rauner over autonomous vehicles order. ABATE stands for a brotherhood aimed towards education. Basically, it's a motorcycle. It's not a motorcycle gang, but it's basically just like a group of like people that ride motorcycles.
Criticize Illinois governors.
Yeah. It has been our policy when working with elected officials on issues to hear what they say but see what they do, which is what the it's a political action committee. Interesting.
What do they do?
Basically, they from what I can tell, they essentially basically what they do is they like advocate for laws, I assume, regarding motorcycles or other motor vehicles.
Oh, like helmets and shit like that.
Helmets, emissions stuff, I would imagine.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's basically that's that sort of thing.
It's not really a loss to.
I mean,
I've never heard of these guys.
Yeah, I mean,
before.
I haven't heard of them either. I doubt many people have heard of them until this. But yeah, I mean, like that's self-driving cars and like autonomous vehicles. That's not going to stop people who like motorcycles from riding motorcycles.
Yeah, I don't really see the connection.
I mean, I could see like a truck. I could see truckers being
Well,
against it.
I mean, is it a concern over like safety?
I don't know. Perhaps. I mean,
I think like, motorized or autonomous cars are actually safer drivers than actual drivers.
statistically, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also like an ethical issue too. Is like, that's a whole nother realm of discussion. Is insurance? I guess if you're in a self-driving car and you have to take it because you're drunk, and that self-driving car runs over people and they die.
Well, they're programmed to not do that.
Right, but you have to consider that if you're an insurance company. You have to consider those risks.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out who's at blame there. That's ethics is a big part of. It's going to become a bigger part of this debate of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, another thing about if you're talking about autonomous vehicles is like truckers who like their jobs are really under threat from companies. I think in Europe it's like sort of more accelerating. Like there's trucking companies that are like wheeling out autonomous trucks, and like so European truckers might be out of their jobs pretty soon. And who's to say that's not going to happen in the U.S.
Right. And I've heard the unions are saying as the compromise they want to have is that like a licensed trucker has to be in the cab at all times while the truck is running or something.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard at least.
I mean, I know like for
I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I think like for planes, like a lot of there's a lot of automated flying systems, but there's still like for commercial traffic, there's always of course pilots.
I would not be comfortable being in a plane that was like
autonomous.
Yeah, I'd be uncomfortable.
That's true.
I don't think
if you're high off the ground like that.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Although statistically, plane flight is the most safe it's like the safest form of travel.
Yeah, it's way safer than driving.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I found the statements that Abate made regarding this, and it does have to do with safety. I'll just read the statement. If you go on Facebook and you look up the page, it's facebook.com/Abate4IL, the number 4. And the Facebook group is called Abate of Illinois Incorporated, ABATE. And here's the statement. Abate of Illinois Political Action Committee is disappointed in Governor Rauner signing an executive order opening Illinois roads to autonomous vehicles with no safeguards. It has been our policy when working with elected officials on issues to hear what they say, but see what they do. We believe the governor's actions are a serious departure from discussion and intentions communicated in our community and represent a danger to the lives of motorcyclists on Illinois roadways. For these reasons, Abate of Illinois PAC is removing our endorsement from Governor Rauner's re-election campaign. Abate is an independent organization representing motorcyclists in Illinois, and we hope that by removing this endorsement, other elected officials realize how seriously we take the issue of autonomous vehicles on Illinois roadways.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So their reason's more of like an ethical stance.
Yeah, in terms of safety. I'm reading some of these comments. I'm not going to say any names, but here's one of the comments. If this is true, then Abate can kiss off because this election is about the future of Illinois and the future of America. It is not about motorcycles. It's about life as we know it.
Oh, God.
Let's see.
Cars are going to take over our minds.
Oh, yeah, here's another guy. I'm sticking with him. I got ran over by a car with a driver in it, and the government had nothing to do with it. Besides, what's the alternative?
Oh, God. All right.
God, we could spend almost an entire show. We shouldn't, but we could spend an entire show just reading Facebook comments and YouTube comments and stuff.
Well, if this was a week ago, we could have spent it reading Gab comments too. But
we should talk about Gab. Yes.
Yeah. Let's
Gab, for those of you who are unaware of it, is a social networking site that was essentially designed as a Twitter alternative. It was shut down because the hosting website, which I believe at one point was GoDaddy, decided not to continue to host it. And Gab's notorious for being extremely lenient on censorship to the point where many conservative commentators such as Milo Yiannopoulos and Alex Jones.
They have a new statement up. I mean, I'm not going to read it all, but like basically it's like...
That one's one of the... I think that was the one they posted. That was the one they posted when they originally went down. I mean, you can read
I thought the one they posted when they originally went down was like shorter than this. I saw that was like something about them like getting attacked a lot.
Oh.
I don't know, because when they went down for like the current stretch of time, then that was the one. It says Gab has spent the past 48 hours working with the DOJ and the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, but like the sort of like Gab isn't going anywhere. Blah blah blah. You can't stop an idea.
Yeah. I mean, I actually I had a Gab account at one point. It was actually intended to spread leftist ideology on Gab. It actually was. Like, that was like expressly the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I didn't get any death threats on there, but I did get threatening remarks from people.
You got threatening remarks for posting leftist.
I mean, to be fair, Gab very much is a safe haven for...
Yeah, I mean, the point of like that website is for people to post threatening things.
So
like,
do they have like incels and stuff?
Yeah, they have incels. They have people
they have everything there.
They have people that identify as fascists.
Oh, okay. What about NAMBLA?
I don't think NAMBLA's on there.
Well, I mean, there's no way to find out because the website's down now. But...
Yeah, we could have checked it out at some point, but I doubt they don't like take kindly to like pedophiles.
I mean, I think they still like abide by like federal laws, like.
But
they do.
Okay, isn't that a hypocrisy though? If Gab is open to have fascists on their website, then
Well, fascism.
Isn't that some form of discrimination against?
I'm not defending pedophiles here, but
None of us
there
are,
is a
right?
there
Yeah.
is a
No.
there is a difference between like, having a very extreme ideology that's crazy but not accepted by mainstream, and like being a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like,
and wanting to like having sexual urges towards children.
Right.
Yeah.
And advocating for it.
And
Yeah.
advocating
An
for
actual
it.
saying it's-
organization that
yeah.
advocates for it.
Yes.
There was a South Park episode about that.
Yeah. Apparently, there is a there was an article. I forget who wrote this. There's apparently a gay prison gang that kills Nazis and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, or it's something. Let me see if I can find it. The Rainbow Warriors. That's right.
Rainbow
That's what it was
Warriors.
called. Let me look up. I can look this up really quick. Rainbow Warriors. Not Hawaii Rainbow Warriors football. Rainbow Warriors
Hawaii
prison
Rainbow
gang.
Warriors, nice.
Yeah, it's it's NCAA. Okay, so it's I guess University of Hawaii at Manoa. But anyway, okay, Vice. That's right. The Vice article is called "My Gay Prison Gang Fights Neo Nazis. They Call Us the Rainbow Warriors." Yeah, basically, this is basically what they do. They're let's see. I'm just gonna skim through this really quick. One day we're walking out to the rec yard. A couple gangbangers called out to Peter saying they wanted to talk to him in the bathroom. Looked up at me and asked if I'd go with him. I said no. Let's see.
I mean, that's also Vice. Like, you have to take stuff that's written on it with a grain of salt
Yeah.
That's true.
sometimes.
Number one objective was so they're basically against the Aryan Brotherhood, which is basically like the big white supremacist prison gang. Our number one objective was to counter the Aryans program of jumping in recruits by beating up gays and sex offenders, so we teamed up every time they tried, and after a few of their initiations went south, they began jokingly calling us the Rainbow Warriors. Interestingly, the prison's administration now started to take notice. The investigations officer, Lieutenant Higgins, later tagged me as the head of the Rainbow Warriors, but I don't care what anyone thinks when one person is persecuted or abused and there is something I can do about it, especially if that person is my gay or trans brother or sister. It is my problem.
Yeah, okay, Vice article.
And
writer.
the byline, incidentally, is Dennis Minton, 56, is incarcerated at the Idaho State Correctional Institution in Boise, Idaho, where he is serving a 45-year sentence for 3 counts of sexual abuse of a child under 16.
Thanks, Vice. Thanks for that.
Thanks for that little heads up.
Fantastic insight.
All right.
Isn't the founder of the Proud Boys, like, didn't he, like...
He dildoed himself on live television.
But he was a part of Vice.
He was, yeah.
McInnes?
Gavin McInnes, yeah. And I was going to mention the Proud Boys were, I believe, removed from where they're deplatformed. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram deplatformed them. The Proud Boys is basically a far right. It's like a quasi gang at some points. Like they gained popularity after the Unite the Right rally last year in Charlottesville. There's actually certain levels to them. Here we go. Okay, the Proud Boys say they have an initiation process that has 4 stages and includes hazing. The first stage is a loyalty oath. The second is getting punched until the person recites pop culture trivia. The third is getting a tattoo and agreeing not to masturbate. And the fourth is getting into a major fight for the cause.
Yeah, it's dumb as shit.
Yeah, it basically is it's dumb as shit, and it is basically a street gang.
You have to get a tattoo.
You do. And you can't masturbate either.
Oh.
Okay, I want to see.
Out of the running.
It's just...
Yeah. I want to see, because I remember hearing Gavin McInnes shoved a dildo up his ass once on I don't think it was on TV, on his own show, internet show.
So, No Nut November.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gavin McInnes to stick a dildo up his ass on Westminster Bridge. This is from the Daily Stormer, which is basically a far right ran by Andrew Anglin. Oh god, there's the picture.
Yeah.
In a brave gesture. Okay, I'm just gonna read from this. I want to be very clear. None of us endorse this website. No. This is the Daily Stormer.
I don't know about reading this entire article.
I'll read parts of it. In a brave gesture of defiance against Islamist extremism, rebel media commentator Gavin McInnes is vowing to go to Westminster Bridge and shove a dildo up his ass. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very sketchy website that has been attacked many times.
Okay.
To the point where they've actually had to host shit on tour. So basically, they're very.
Oh man, that's a link to politics. Oh god.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Sorry, we're getting a little off track.
A little bit. Yeah. So that's basically. So yeah, in terms of news on the internet, like Gab being taken offline, the Proud Boys being deplatformed. I mean, these are not bad things at all. Like, yeah, I mean, getting rid of like people that espouse hate and advocate like getting into fights with people that you disagree with.
Yeah,
politically.
using violence.
Using violence.
Like, yeah, and that's the thing about like Trump and his like style of rhetoric. Like, of course, Trump isn't gonna go out and like take an AK and like shoot up some synagogue or some like black church or anything like that. But it's his very like fiery, like inflammatory style of rhetoric sort of makes it seem more okay for people who would be like more who would have tendencies to do that, to think like, oh, it's okay for me to do that somehow, because
there is a term for that called stochastic terrorism. Basically, the way it's defined is the use of mass public communication, usually against a particular individual or group, which incites or inspires acts of terrorism which are statistically probable but happen seemingly at random. So, but basically by the rhetoric that he uses, he is essentially indirectly encouraging individuals to commit these attacks. So he's not necessarily aiding the crime, but in a sense he's abetting it.
Well, like he said, didn't he say in one of his speeches he's a nationalist?
He did.
Yeah.
Very recently, I believe. Wasn't that the day before they started finding the bombs or something?
No.
I mean, Putin said he was a nationalist, but he said he's the right kind of
Right kind of nationalist.
correct nationalist.
Yeah. I think like Trump, in a sense, does not really understand the weight that term has and has had in American history.
I don't think Trump understands much of anything.
No.
Yeah, I mean, when he says nationalist, like to him, probably that just is another word for patriotism.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he might not be aware of the historical connotations, or if he is, he might just not care. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like, I've heard that like Trump. I think his former wife, before Melania, said that he would keep a copy of Mein Kampf next to his bed.
Interesting.
Really?
I would love to play Trump off as like some idiot, but there is a level of evil there. Some sort of level of fascist ideology that.
Oh, the book was My New Order. It was it was a book of his speeches.
That's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, it was my friend Marty Davis from Paramount who gave me a copy of Mein Kampf, and he's a Jew. That's Trump talking. And apparently, yeah, I guess the book that he gave him was called My New Order. It says, I am his friend, but I'm not Jewish. So, yeah, I did actually see that book next to Trump's nightstand. Or on Trump's nightstand, rather. Huh. Yeah, that's what that's his choice reading material, apparently. Huh. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a copy of The Prince.
What's The Prince?
Machiavelli.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a copy of that or The Art of War or something.
I don't know if he has
Machiavelli is
the
probably
intellectual capacity to read Machiavelli, but
yeah. Or maybe he has a copy but he doesn't read it. He just like has heard
just
of politicians
for show,
or maybe he's heard that politicians have that book or something. So he just figured he would add it to his collection.
Or even the Turner Diaries.
Turner Diaries, oh boy. Can you go into a little bit of, for those who haven't heard about that, can you go a little bit
into I hadn't until very recently.
Yeah, can you go a little bit into what that basically is?
It was a book written in the 1978. It's fiction account of the main character. I forget his name, but basically a race war happens, and this main character has to fight his way to survive and like restore the white race.
I believe Turner is the guy's name, actually.
Yeah, it's in the neo-Nazi community. It's up there. In terms of it's a Bible to them. And
yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing was based off a scene where basically the main character goes on a kamikaze mission and flies a plane or bombs I believe the Pentagon or the FBI headquarters or something. So that's basically, so like some people like basically in the climax of the book, basically all non-white races are wiped out, and basically this group called the Order takes over basically global domination. It's a very I have not read the book, but I've read like a synopsis of it.
That's
It's very
fucked.
messed up. It's a very
Yeah.
fucked up book. Yeah, written by Dr. William Pierce, who was like a very very violent. It had like violent rhetoric. Doesn't even begin to describe what he was like. He was like advocating like the killing of mixed race couples and stuff. Yeah, like he's a very like
Where did he teach?
what?
The doctor.
Oh, Dr. Pierce.
Yeah.
I don't believe was a professor. Oh, wait, I researched William Pierce. Yeah, he wasn't a professor. He had a doctorate in, I want to say, history. Let's see. Yeah, he was an American white supremacist, neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic author and political commentator. He, doctorate from Colorado. Well, let's see what it was in. It doesn't say. He taught physics as an assistant professor at Oregon State. Eventually, he formed a group called the National Alliance, which was basically like a white supremacist, like political group that put out a magazine, that sort of stuff.
Oh.
I think he tried to establish it as he established it as an educational organization, and he applied for tax exemption, but he was denied
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, indeed. Let's
That's
see.
bad.
Okay. Oh yeah, and also another thing he said, he denounced the Oklahoma City bombing once McVeigh was discovered to have had copies of the Turner Diaries, and he said that he denounced it because, to use his words, the United States is not yet in a revolutionary time. That's why I denounced it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get off this topic of white supremacists and that crap. Let's talk about this whole Mueller attempted slandering that went horribly wrong. I haven't. Okay, it's like apparently this collapsed in a very hilarious turn of events. But from what I understand, basically a group of people were trying to basically bribe people to put false sexual allegations on Mueller.
Yeah, the article that you have says unknown person or organization.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, there'll probably be more details about this coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe some have. As a matter of fact, the alleged victim didn't even show up for a news conference. Or the person that said that they were going to do that. Okay, here's an article. What right-wing troll used his mom's phone to spread Mueller sexual harassment hoax? I just googled this article. It says this is from a website called The Cut. I'm not really sure what this website is.
I don't know.
Oh, they got a picture of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, they do. Jordan Peterson. All right. Here we go. There's a link to NBC News here. Oh, whoops.
Oh.
No, it's not. Use that. That was just some ad block thing that came up. Okay. It appears that Berkman enlisted Wool's help and tried to dig up dirt. So these are basically the people that tried to slander Mueller. Berkman said he enlisted the help of an intelligence agency called Surefire Intelligence. Specifically a man named Matthew Cohen. Surefire Intelligence's website is registered, the domain, to Wool's email address. And Cohen's LinkedIn photo is actually an edited photo of Wool. So basically it's his completely fake identity that he did.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
It's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, the fact that Mueller is one of the most talented investigators in America and has such a pedigree. A kid in a high school law class could unravel this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy just so obviously did not know what he was doing.
It'll also be interesting to see if he has any direct connections to Trump or any of his associates, and to see if we'll have to see that unravels it. It could just be this is some guy acting independently, but I would definitely not I would not put it past Trump and his people after all they've done to hire someone to do something like this.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Let's talk about the Air Force coffee cups thing. So basically, Senator Chuck Grassley, who is a Republican from Iowa, he is criticizing. Basically, what he's doing is criticizing the Air Force for spending $1,200 for a special carafe of coffee that's intended to be used in fighter jets. Let me pull up the article for that. $1,280 coffee cup. This is sort of an example of military spending that in many senses is a waste. Let's see.
Why?
Well, supposedly they're specially engineered or something. Yeah. Let's
Okay,
see.
lawmakers want to know why the
Why
U.S.
is there a need for that?
I don't know. Okay, here's a quote from Grassley. In my previous letter, I asked what cheaper alternatives had been explored and if this water heating cup was truly necessary. In your reply, you indicated that the Air Force is exploring ways to use 3D printing and other technologies to cut costs and spare parts, and conducting a review of procurement to identify overpriced items. Your response is not indicated if alternatives to the specific water heating cup have been explored or discovered. So basically, let's see. Wilson, who is the who's Wilson here? Oh, Air Force Secretary Dr. Heather Wilson has said the Air Force has spent $326,785 on nearly 400 cups since 2016. That's an average of $817. So it seems like I wouldn't be surprised if they re-engineer these just because like it's been highlighted so much. Like even the Air Force put out a statement that said the Air Force believes there is potential to save millions of taxpayer dollars through 3D printing of parts for older aircraft as they drive changes to prevent being held hostage by obsolete supply chain practices.
Oh God. Poor Air Force.
Yeah,
they can't get a coffee cup.
They can't get a
No
coffee.
$1,200
And yet,
coffee
you know,
cups
who
for
gives a
you.
fuck about homelessness in America?
It's insane like how like overinflated the military budget is. There have even been like generals and like people who are military experts who say like that the military is getting too much money. Like there's literally have more of it than they know what to do.
Yeah, they don't want billions of dollars in aircraft.
Yeah, I mean so much
aircraft carriers.
Money that could be spent so much better domestically in so much better places domestically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's an article from Business Insider. It says they pumped the brakes on ordering the $1,280 coffee cup. They works to adopt a 50-cent alternative.
It's the classic like bureaucracy.
Yeah. I think like the whole point of it's like it's supposed to be like a water heating thing. So basically it ends up being like sort of a mini coffee maker in a sense. It says the Air Force has been working to adopt more widespread use of 3D printed handles for the cups, which is the most breakable element and requires a full and far pricier replacement, which it has offered through the Rapid Sustainment Office, and a 3D printed handle costs about 50 cents.
Just use a fucking cylinder. Why do you need a handle?
I don't know. You don't want these poor airmen to burn their hand when they drink their coffee. I mean, heaven forbid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Forget those like 13 weeks of training.
Yeah. Forget using like styrofoam cups or something.
Right.
All right. Let's go on Reddit and see what they're talking about on the news. Let's check this out here. We're just going to our news and see what the first thing is. This is from Reuters. Let's see. U.S. active duty face more military-related stuff. The active duty face poor living conditions in on-base housing. I mean, like that doesn't really surprise me, given that like how large the military is and how much they're cutting costs in certain things so they can afford more artillery and more planes.
Well, the thing about it too is a lot of military towns are depressed because military bases don't pay taxes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they basically they don't really have tenant rights in a lot of the homes that military families live in. So basically, they don't have basic protections that like if you were like renting an apartment, your like lease, you would be protected. So they don't. So for example, if you have mold or if you find rodents or any sort of infestation like that, you don't have much recourse in resolving those sort of things. Like it's much more difficult than if you were renting from like a property management company that doesn't like have this massive reach that like the military does, for example.
Yeah, you want to talk about people not paying their taxes. Northwestern and Evanston.
Oh yeah, Northwestern. That entire campus does not pay a dime in property taxes.
It's been like an eternal issue.
Yeah,
millions of dollars on a new football practice stadium, and the ceiling isn't high enough to punt the ball.
Wow,
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really ever going to be resolved. Like when people of the city of Evanston are pressed about it, they say, "Oh, it's worth having such a high quality educational institution in our city."
Oh, give me a break.
And
go to Chicago.
Yeah,
Northwestern does not. I mean, I don't want to say they don't give anything back to the community, but for the amount of resources that they require. and for them not,
I wouldn't say
paying
they give back
taxes,
enough.
yeah, it's not nearly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're known for medical school and their journalism school, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much,
think,
yeah.
And
well,
those are in Chicago, aren't they?
They are.
Wait, the journalism one is too.
I believe
have
so.
Feinberg's Chicago.
Medill,
yeah.
I believe Medill is based in Chicago. Let me see. Medill School.
So then, what does the Evanston campus contribute?
They have arts and sciences. They have a
Oh.
technological institute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on a 300 Upper Wacker Drive. That's where Medill is.
Let's see.
Yeah, and they have let's see what else over there. They have I believe technological institute. I think that's the engineering college as well.
But their law school. And
Kellogg School of Engineering.
I think that's in Evanston,
Yeah.
Kellogg.
I feel like Kellogg was a business school.
Oh yeah, Kellogg is
yeah.
yeah it is. That's the management school, and that is at Evanston.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have like some campuses, the seminaries up there, like they have all that stuff.
Oh, that's another thing is that the religious institutions don't pay a tax.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although like Northwestern nowadays is only nominally religious. I mean, I don't think that originally they were affiliated with, I believe, the Methodist Church.
Really? I didn't even
believe
know
so.
that. I mean, yeah, it's like not a religious. It's like less than Loyola even, and Loyola's like not even that.
Yeah, I believe.
Jesuit.
Yeah, it's yeah. Let's see. I believe it was originally Methodist.
Well, they.
Yeah, it was. All 9 founders were Methodist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were they affiliated with the university with the Methodist Episcopal Church, but they were committed to non-sectarian admissions, believing that Northwestern should serve all people in the newly developing territory by bettering the economy in Evanston.
Oh.
So this, I believe, is before. Yeah, this was before Evanston was even incorporated as a town.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were founded, I believe, in 1851.
Well, I heard that motivation to found Northwestern was because of the drinking in Chicago. That there was just like, oh, all these like immigrants are drinking and all the saloons are bad. We have to.
Really?
I don't know
Yeah.
if it had to do with immigrants, but I do know that Francis Willard was very much involved with it, who was the founder of the Women's Christian Temperance Union.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, I believe for a time, like you could not drink within like a 3 or 4 mile radius of Northwestern. I have to
Are you
look that
kidding
up.
me?
I'd have to look that up. Let me see if I can find.
I mean, like obviously, like Evanston used to be dry, but like
Let me see if I can find. Or it was like this. Either that or the sale was prohibited within a few miles of the campus.
I saw that the new Binny's opened on Chicago.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
open now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's open.
I think it's I don't know if it's open, but I saw like
It's close.
alcohol.
You know, they got to be open during Christmas.
I saw
I'm sure. Yeah.
They got to sell
Probably.
booze during Thanksgiving into Christmas.
yeah. I mean, like I saw they had like bottles on the shelves at least.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's open or not.
I'm flipping through some old Northwestern documents because I remember reading this somewhere and like their let's see.
3 or 4 miles, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's I'm looking to see like where that's where that was written because I remember reading that somewhere.
Oh, fun fact that oh shit,
That this kind of relates to religion. But in the United States, the reason why you go to the hospital and you have a baby and the doctors ask you if you want the baby to be circumcised is the original intent for it was to prevent masturbation.
Oh yeah,
That's what I've heard.
true.
Yeah, because it makes that area less sensitive.
Yeah.
Let me just Google this rule because I'm.
Yeah, I mean, like unless you're Jewish, that was like.
Yeah. America is the only country besides parts of the Middle East that commonly practices like circumcision.
Oh, here we go. This is from the Women's Christian Temperance Union Administration. It's just a Wikipedia article. When Evanston was incorporated in 1863, its first act was to create an ordinance banning alcohol within a 4 mile radius around the school. Because so many
damn.
Evanston residents worked at the university, the act was popular. As Evanston grew to be considered an idyllic suburb in the 1870s, residents supported alcohol control as a way to preserve the residential climate.
Residential climate.
Keeping it like white and Protestant in a sense.
Yeah.
That's what it reads as, at least.
Can't have those Irish Catholics
getting drunk at the saloon down the street.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in 1913, the WCTU teamed up with the Anti-Saloon League and the Prohibition Party
Anti-saloon league.
to focus their efforts on legislative prohibition.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you know the Prohibition Party still exists?
Really?
It does indeed.
I mean, what's their platform?
What do they advocate for?
Okay, let me read this here.
Well, anti-saloon
besides
league,
prohibition?
like prohibitionists, they had support from the Ku Klux Klan.
They did.
They were dries.
That they did. Let's see. The platform of the party is liberal in that it supports environmental stewardship, women's rights, and free education, but is conservative on social issues such as supporting temperance and advocating for a pro-life stance. Let me look up. What's the guy's name that ran in 20? Okay, well, let's see. In 2016, they nominated a fellow by the name of James Hedges, who qualified for the ballot in Arkansas, Colorado, and Mississippi, and earned 5,514 votes.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, he was, I believe, he was the only individual to be elected to public office from the Prohibition Party in the 21st century. He was the tax assessor for Thompson Township in Fulton County, Pennsylvania. So he actually has had public office in the past. There was one other guy, I believe he ran either 2008 or 2012. He ran in 2012, named Jack Feller. I believe Feller is I believe how you pronounce it. Okay. In 1992, Feller filed to run in the New Hampshire, Virginia, and Kansas Republican primaries. By November 1991, he had spent $40,000 of his own money on the campaign, and he sent a King James Bible to the Federal Election Commission as a copy of his platform. Regarding the 1611 English version of the Bible, he said, "God wrote it as a supreme document and final authority in the affairs of all men, nations, and civilizations for time and eternity. It shall never be necessary to change it." So that was literally his platform, was the Bible. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's see. Oh, during the 96 election, he criticized former President Bush Sr. as a man responsible for inestimable damage towards the destruction of this sovereign democratic constitutional republic, who continued to water the seeds of international satanic Marxism to the exclusion of our national sovereignty, adding the Bill Clinton...
This guy sounds like his office rocker.
Yeah,
Satanic Marxism?
Satanic Marxism, as opposed to regular Marxism.
What?
He added that Bill Clinton merely shifted into overdrive the socialistic Marxist New World Order agenda.
Yeah,
He appeared on the primary ballot in Puerto Rico and received 34 votes. And he got one... No, you think that's funny. In Idaho, he got one write-in vote.
Oh, one. It was probably him.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe like his friend or something.
Maybe his friend or something. He received, let's see, in the North Dakota caucus in 2000, he got 14 votes cast. Lost all 26 delegates to Bush, not surprisingly.
Yeah.
How much did he, let's see, because I know he ran in 2012. He got 518 votes in the national election in 2012.
That's respectable. That's more people that are listening to our stream right now.
That's true. And and by the way, all 518 of those votes were in Louisiana.
Oh.
Yep. So
I see.
that's how he got those.
Not surprising.
What other parties are there that we don't know about that?
Let's find out. I'm sure there's a list we can find out. Just
list of political parties in the United States.
List of political parties in the United States. Let's see. I'm sure there are more. Let's see.
But that's a doozy. Prohibition Party.
Yeah. Whoops, not the United Kingdom, the United States. Whoops, hold on. Here we go. Okay. Minor political parties. We have the America First Party, which is paleo-conservative. Oh, it is or was. So it doesn't really seem like it's.
Oh, it's far right.
Yeah, far right. Economic nationalism, non-interventionism. Let's see. What's the recently founded ones? Yeah, the Prohibition. Oh, wait,
that was recently. Oh.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Wrong way.
The oldest.
Wrong way. The American Delta Party, which is social.
Fuck.
Yeah, social progressive apparently.
Charlie, familiar with this?
Rocky De La Fuente founded it.
Oh, their center.
Well, their center, I guess, in like an international scale, but they are socially. They basically, the ideology is electoral reform, fiscal responsibility, and social progressivism, which by American standards puts them pretty firmly
Social
on the left.
democracy.
Yeah, so they're firmly in the left in terms of American standards.
Yeah.
Rocky De La Fuente, who did run in the 2016 presidential primary.
Rocky. Oh, fuck.
Yep, he's a perennial candidate, so he's probably he likes to run for stuff. Like he ran in 2016. He ran for the Senate in or the he ran for the Democratic nomination in Florida for Senate in 2016. Ran for mayor of New York in 2017. It looks like. Yeah, he ran there. Had a 2018 Senate campaigns apparently. Yeah. And apparently, is he running? Oh, he's gonna run again in 2020. So hey, maybe he'll be the guy to take down Trump. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who else? What other fun ones are there?
Let's see. The Black Riders Liberation Party. It's a black nationalist party.
Okay.
It's anti-capitalist, revolutionary socialism, anti-imperialist.
Oh, far left.
And the Southern Poverty Law Center classifies them as a black separatist hate group.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, speaking of that, you guys want to look at the SPLC hate map and see like what groups are around us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably worth knowing.
Okay, let's see. The hate map.
Identity Europa is probably closest.
They were putting up flyers in Evanston,
Yep.
weren't they?
The Evanston police say that there are maybe a faction in Chicago and a few members live in Evanston.
Interesting. Yeah, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, there are 953 hate groups operating in the U.S.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, they're all like
They're in
populated in the South.
A lot of them are.
What do you know?
and,
Is
like,
that
the
a
Northeast
coincidence?
also. Let's see. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Or actually, let's sort by Illinois. Let's see what's around here in this state here. Here you go. There are 34 apparently. We have what the hell is this? The White Boy Society.
White
It's
Boy
actually a
Society.
fucking
Look it
thing.
You
The
kidding
White
me?
Boy
That's
Society.
so stupid.
Let me, I guess, Google that. The White Boy Society. Oh jeez, it's like some shitty blog spot page. It looks like.
Oh.
Like there's like a thread on Stormfront about it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, if you can like you don't want to talk about people who design good websites, like generally the kinds of people that like are.
Oh yeah,
hate music.
that was
What's
owned by that company was owned by Dr. William Pierce actually.
hate music.
Yeah. Basically, it's like extremely. Basically, it's like white supremacist death metal. It's pantheistic, white supremacist, white separatist, and
The Americans for Truth About Homosexuality
based in
group out
Naperville.
of Naperville. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's another one. Apparently, Daily Stormer also has an Illinois chapter. I know. Oh, here we go. New Black Panther Party based in Springfield.
Yeah, a lot of these are downstate too.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about these guys. All Eyes on Egypt bookstore. Basically
Egypt spelled with an I.
Spelled with an I. Let me see. This is basically one of these groups that like is like a mixture of like a bunch of like Semitic religions. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, New Wabianism. That's right.
What's New Wabi?
This is basically. Let me see. This is another Vice article, incidentally. Let's see. The New Wabian leader was sentenced to life in prison more than a decade ago, but the Brooklyn cult perseveres. Let's see. Keeping a watchful eye over the stores are two paintings. Oh yeah, here we go. I wrote in one afternoon. This is a guy talking about one of the bookstores in Brooklyn. Passing a group of people dressed in lavish Egyptian-style tunics filtering out the front door. I pick up one of the booklets and leaf through a long science fiction inspired through a stream of consciousness. On page 15, I read a paragraph that traces Caucasian geology to flugelrods, beings that now live in a cavern beneath the Arctic. On page 84, I learned that Caucasian women once mated with jackals, ancestors of today's dogs. And on page 87, that the pale man still has a vestige proving this union, a tail. So, yeah. Apparently the guy who wrote these is named Dr. Malachi York. Let's see. York cut his teeth in the business of spiritual deceit in the 1970s. At the time, Bushwick Avenue, which is where this store is located,
Sounds like Scientology.
it's similar to it. Gutted by arson, theft, and gun crime by 1980. It was a very black and Puerto Rican neighborhood, and he basically he was teaching basically Afrocentric approaches to creation, and he basically would let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's very much lionized. Like one of his followers says, it would be slander to say something negative about him, but he was so
like Stalin.
Yeah, he said he uprooted in 1993 the entire community and moved to an organization, or a compound rather, called Tama Ray, which is located in Putnam County, Georgia. It's basically a Egyptian temple looking kind of place.
Oh wow, there's a lot of Ku Klux Klan chapters. in the
Yeah,
US.
there is actually one that's based in Chicago. I don't think it's on that
What?
map.
I'm not seeing it on that.
Yeah,
there's one that's like somewhere like Southern Illinois,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me
in
see if I know what it's
Nashville,
called.
Illinois.
I believe it's called the United Northern and Southern Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, and there is one based in, I believe there's one based in Chicago. Because the KKK have had its history in Chicago going back to about the 60s. Back when, like, the South Side was starting to integrate.
That's
like,
surprising.
Oh.
yeah, like, there were, like, parts of the South Side that were, like, very much, like, Western and Eastern European, and they were, like, very much resistant to blacks, like, leaving, like, Bronzeville and those areas, and, like...
I don't know, like, I like, don't really see, like, Ku Klux Klan ideology appealing to Eastern Europeans, but...
Well, the areas there, like,
don't
were, like,
know.
very Lithuanian, and, like, well, at least, like, one of the areas that was integrated, Marquette Park, was... And I don't know if it was all specifically like Eastern European, but there were a lot of like Polish and Irish folks living around there at the time in Ireland's Western Europe, of course.
Southside Irish.
Yeah, Southside Irish. As a matter of fact, Mount Greenwood, which is like the far southwest side, which is where a lot of cops live, that area is still like about 90% white, even to this day. It's like one of the very last like white enclaves in the South Side. Yeah, I believe that's. Yeah, I can't find. I know, like at one point at least they did have like a part in Chicago, but I can't find it right now.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
Hit.
crazy stuff. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, nobody's calling.
If you have anything else, I mean...
And nobody's even watching right now. So, yeah. Anything else was on there on the thing there? We could talk a little bit about. Let's talk about Kanye. What the hell? So yeah, Kanye West has decided to distance himself from politics because he believes that he's being used a little bit by Trump. I mean, the guy is like clearly does not understand the stuff he was saying in regards to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we already talked about the Proud Boys. Yeah, that's really yeah. I mean, in terms of like the really big news, like pretty much everything that was going to be said about it has already been said. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest news right now is probably just like shaping up for election.
Yeah,
day.
less than a week away. I personally have voted, and if you have not voted early, you still have tomorrow to vote early, or you can just vote on election day.
I'm probably just gonna vote on election day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's this is gonna be probably by the next show we'll go over the results and see what's been happening. Or if you guys are around Tuesday, we could just do like a live election show.
Oh, like Tuesday night.
Interesting idea.
Maybe we'll do something like
We'll
that.
talk about it. Yeah.
We may very well. Otherwise, we'll just do a recap of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I do know that there are certain polls that are showing that like there's a chance that there will be a slim majority of Democrats in the House, and that there will probably still be Republicans in the Senate because there are certain races that they will have to win like a very specific number of that, like, because there are some like Senate races that there's no way in hell the Democrats
Yeah,
will win.
it's the Senate map is like very like in terms of like this election cycle is like very much in the Republicans' favor.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But yeah, no, for the House it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with the polls too, you can't really trust them.
that's
Either.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, is this stream even... Their YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Ouch.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good. Let me try to refresh the page here. Because I noticed that... okay, let's see if it's still going on. Yeah, it's not doing well. But we're about to wrap this up anyway. And it looks like on our streaming software, it does look like we are still streaming. So hopefully most of this will get out. We do have... At least, I think I started the Audacity recording like 15 minutes late, but it is recording. Everything's being recorded on Audacity right now, so we do have backups anyway.
And it's recorded on YouTube too. So
It is.
Yeah,
So at least, yeah, we'll be fine. We can just wrap up now. Let me just read the quote of the day, which incidentally this week is from the Communist Manifesto. We have here, let's see, where is this? Okay. This is from Marx and Engels' Communist Manifesto. Here we go. In times when the class struggle nears the decisive hour, the process of dissolution going on within the ruling class, in fact within the whole range of all society, assumes such a violent, glaring character that a small section of the ruling class cuts itself adrift and joins the revolutionary class, the class that holds the future in its hands. Just as, therefore, at an earlier period, a section of the nobility went over to the bourgeoisie, So now a portion of the bourgeoisie goes over to the proletariat, and in particular a portion of the bourgeoisie ideologists who has raised themselves to the level of comprehending theoretically the historical movement as a whole. Of all the classes that stand face to face with the bourgeoisie today, the proletariat alone is a really revolutionary class. The other classes decay and finally disappear in the face of modern industry. The proletariat is its special and essential product. And with that, we will conclude this evening's edition of Radio Sheridan. Thank you for joining us.